Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Sarah Ahmed and I'm here to share my experience in teaching Islamic studies during distance learning. So I strongly believe that challenging times come to us to make us better. It will inspire us to grow and to learn to be the best that we can possibly be. So we're here today to talk about creative and engaging ways of teaching Islamic education online. So by the end of this presentation, you will be able to know how to create active learning and engaging Islamic content for your students. You will also be able to understand how to use different ways, tools, and applications inside and outside your classroom. You will demonstrate what you have learned through hands-on practice, and this can be done by exploring the apps and tools that we will discuss today in our presentation. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this video, because I promise at the end of this video, I will add all the links and resources used here for you to access easily after we complete our presentation. So before we start, let's have a quick look at the list of things that you might need to create your first engaging Islamic content. Because when I first knew that we would start our distance learning journey, I spent 1 week of my spring break watching YouTube videos from experienced teachers and other educators who have been teaching online for many years. For example, some of these videos were on how to record a professional video, the necessary lighting that would make the video look clear, and how to look confident in front of the camera, and the must-have items for online teachers to keep their students engaged during the live lesson. I had to learn many techniques and technologies in only 1 week, and I was doing my best to provide a well-planned and a well-presented learning experience for my students. Of course, later on, I gained a lot from my students' feedback and responses, as this is the best way to grow. Making videos. Videos will increase students' engagement, because if your students are interested in the material that you're presenting, they will better process and remember the information in there. Videos also facilitate remote learning opportunities where teachers can reach students from all over the world. Of course, you don't need to buy expensive equipment to make great videos. You can just use whatever you have right now at home, just by paying attention to a few key details, and you will realize that it's easier than you think. For example, as you can see here, I used my laundry basket for my very first video just to make sure that my laptop camera is at my eye level, so I can have a better eye contact with my students, whether during live classes or when I'm recording an offline video. So these are the most important tips for you to make great videos. The first one would be, make sure you raise your laptop to your eye level so you can avoid looking down at the camera. The second one is, use toys and finger puppets to make your student engaged. I've always loved to use this sheep during my videos, whether I'm recording an offline one or during the class. Students also used to see it in the real classroom. These are some of the finger puppets that I use as well. They're just brilliant, and students, they love them, especially if I'm asking questions. They would just respond right away, and it keeps them focused and keeps their eyes on the screen. Pick the right background. It could be as simple as a white wall, like the one behind me, and something maybe simple, not too distracting for students, or you can create your own background. I created that background in the picture using a website called Canva. You can actually design anything on that website. It's just brilliant. Sunlight is one of the best light sources for your video. Also, make sure that you plan your video or the lesson content before you start. And please don't forget to smile, especially at the beginning and throughout the whole video. It makes a huge difference in how friendly you look for your students. Now, let's have a look at my very first video that I created for my grade 1 students to keep them engaged in their online learning and to make sure that they would still have the same fun learning Islamic studies online. You can scan the QR code to watch the full video. Islamic Studies, Grade 1. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope that you and your loved ones are healthy and well. Today we will learn about prayer. Let's start. The first thing that we're going to start with is the learning outcomes. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to know the importance of prayer and why Muslims pray, and you will be able to list the names and times of the 5 daily prayers, and you will also be able to know the number of rak'ahs or units in each and every prayer. But look who's here. It's Mr. Sheep. We got a bit of a problem.
Mr. Sheep doesn't know why Muslims pray, and he even doesn't know the names of the 5 daily prayers all the times. Will you be able to help him? Are you sure? Okay, let's start. Mr. Sheep is really excited. First, we watch a video about this, and then we'll see.
Omar and Hannah. The virtues of Salah.
Omar, Hannah, time for Salah.
Huh? But Daddy, we're not done catching these fish.
How about a story?
A story? Yes! Wow!
Listen, little ones, let me tell you of a man
Who lived in the days when the Prophet walked the land.
He was kind and strong, and he loved to play with cats. That's why they call him Abu Huraira. As the story goes, he was very kind. He performed Salah every day and every night.
Wow! We love to be like Abu Huraira.
So let us all perform Salah.
Plan your lesson. So these are the steps that I used to plan my previous video about prayer. They're very simple steps and you can just use them whenever you plan any of your lessons. So the first step would be is to define your topic. Figure out what do you want your students to learn from this lesson. Secondly, you need to create the learning outcomes and make sure they are clear, measurable, and they focus on new knowledge and skills. Create an engaging content and just keep it simple. Create the learning activities and make sure they are differentiated to meet your students' individual needs. And the last step would be to create an assessment and make sure your assessment tasks measure the outcomes of your lesson. So now let's have a look at the step-by-step guide of how I created my first video. So first step, I downloaded the PowerPoint template from a website called Slides Carnival, and it's the same website I used for this PowerPoint that you're watching right now. After that, I searched for engaging Islamic videos from One for Kids TV and Muslim Kids TV websites. Now that I have the PowerPoint and the videos ready, I added the content, the learning outcomes, and all the information and the videos that I chose into the PowerPoint. When the PowerPoint is ready, I just went ahead and I recorded myself from the PowerPoint itself through the recording tab at the top of the PowerPoint, as you can see here. And that's it. Your video is ready to be shared with your students. So now let's watch another example of an interactive video that I created using a website called Powtoon. And I also used questions throughout the video to keep my students thinking and focused.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we will learn about cleanliness. First, we will start with the learning outcomes. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to know what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said about cleanliness. You will list different ways of keeping clean, including wudu. And you will also explain why is it important for Muslims to be clean. Let's think about this. See, think, and wonder. Would you rather be around someone who's dirty or someone who's clean? Yes, someone who's clean. Let's watch the next video and see what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said about being clean.
Oh, Assalamu alaikum children. Don't mind me, I'm just taking a bath. I just love baths. Being clean is half your deen. Taking regular baths and showers helps me stay nice and clean. Cleanliness and hygiene is very important in Islam, which is why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "At-tuhur shatrul iman," which means cleanliness is half of our faith.
So, we learned from the video that cleanliness is half of our faith. But how?
Do you know how? You can scan the code to watch the full video. So after watching the previous video, let's have a look at some of the tips and ideas for more engaging videos. So the first tip would be is design your video in an interactive conversational style. Like I used in my previous video, like have a microphone or something to make it conversational. That's my daughters that I use for my videos as well with my students. They just love it and it keeps it interactive and engaging. The second step is ask your students to think about a question, like the same way that I did in my previous video, like by using some of the visible thinking routine, like see, think, and wonder, and we'll look at that into more details in the coming slides. Ask your students to share their answers and ideas online, and I'll show you the tools of how to do so. And the last one is use your body language. Just be active as you would be in a normal classroom. So these are some of the helpful applications that I use and websites as well. They helped me a lot during planning time. It saved a lot of my time. And some of these applications just have brilliant Islamic content in Arabic and in English. So the first application is the One for Kids TV. It's a brilliant application that it has a lot of videos of like high quality Islamic videos and cartoons. It makes learning about Islam attractive and fun for children. The second one is Muslim Kids TV. Muslim Kids TV also has the largest collection of high quality Islamic cartoons as well, and it's just fun for all of the children to watch. This application called the Seerah, and it's probably one of the best Islamic apps for kids about the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ Seerah and his companion as well. It's being presented in an interactive and engaging way for children. Twinkle website, it has a wide range of brilliant resources that are beautifully illustrated and engaging for students. It's just very colorful. They have ready presentations ready that you can just add your content in there or edit them, and they have a lot of fun activities that keeps the student engaged. Edpuzzle has been really helpful as well for me during distance learning, because you can simply make any video your lesson. Just choose a video from YouTube or any video that you would like and just give it a magic touch by adding questions in there, and you can track your students' understanding and progress just by adding questions to the video. The next one is Powtoon. It's the same one that I used for my previous video that we just watched together, and it will help you create engaging and fully customized video for your students to enjoy. Of course, the Slides Carnival, it just saves a lot of your time, and it just has templates and Google Slides themes for your presentations. And the last one is Canva, the one that I showed you earlier that I created a poster with Canva. It's just very easy to use as well, whether for teachers or students, because it's just simply drag and drop, and it gives you professional layouts to design like very consistent, stunning graphics, presentations, posters, and so much more. And let's have a look now at the tools for the visible thinking routines that we explained earlier. There's a website called WooClap. Just WooClap will engage your students with walls of interactive messages, votes, and interactions online. The Mentimeter as well. Mentimeter, it will help you interact with your students using real-time voting and sharing ideas. You don't have to install anything, or no download it requires. It doesn't require any downloads. The Padlet as well, it will allow you and your students just to share ideas and just insert pictures or videos as well. It's very easy to use. The students can just grab any device and start using it. The last one is the Thinking Routine website. This website is just amazing because it allows teachers and students to move beyond the surface learning that focuses only on the memorization of knowledge and facts to more deep and reflective learning. It just gives you a lot of ideas and different ways of applying thinking routines with your students. Now, so these are some of the examples of applying some of the visible thinking routine with my students as well. This is from WooClap. I can just put a thinking routine like for example, give 3 feedback, or I post a question, I can see their answers in real time while I'm online with them in the class. The Padlet as well. It's just been working really well, so we can see what they're thinking about behind the screen. So this brings me to the end of my presentation, and as I promised, you will find all the links and resources to all the websites and applications introduced here, and so much more. Just scan the QR code if you're using your laptop, or you can simply type the short link that you can see here into your browser if you're using your phone. Now, my recommendations for you would be just to go ahead and try how these applications and websites work to prepare yourself to get ready to create active learning, enjoyable and pleasant experience for your students. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope that you found my presentation useful, and I'll be pleased to answer any of your questions. Just go ahead and you can find me on LinkedIn. Simply scan the QR code as well, and I'm happy to connect with you.